Alright, hello YouTubers out there. We're going to try this one more time. I've tried about 4 times today, and every time interruptions or no sound. um, I just wanted to kind of touch base with a few of you out there. I was asked the other day, a gentleman asked me on running my own business if what I thought of the money that he would need to quit his job, and I assured him not to quit his job. It's not a thing to do. If you don't have at least, I want to say, 1 to 2 years of money that's to cover your household expense, your car expenses, your shop, all your deposits. A lot of people just think you just jump into it and you don't have to worry, and they don't think about where the next dollar is coming from. And I'm here to tell you that there's a lot of money in your own business. I mean, what I mean by that is you better be prepared not to take a wage for anywhere from 2 to 5 years. You better be prepared to put that money back into business. Equipment, tools. You guys see the tools that I buy, but there's specialty tools that, for the hydro dipping, I had to buy a tank. I leased the tank. I made a mistake by leasing the tank. I wished I would have never got into the lease program. I should have bought the tank outright. I've got rent. I've got utilities. I've got the state taxes. I've got the federal taxes. I have the state and federal licensing. You have to have the licensing. I suggest you become a member of a Chamber of Commerce. They will help you out very, very well. Mine has. They've went above and beyond. I couldn't ask for a better bunch of people. They come in and ask your opinion, and I like that. I joined the Better Business Bureau. They've helped me kind of weed out the scammers. There's people out there that's going to try to scam you. There's people out there that's not really scammers, but they've got their hand out. They want part of the piece of the pie, even before you make any money. You got to remember, you've got your insurance for, if somebody's car gets damaged in your shop. You've got, I'm one of the lucky ones. My wife has insurance on me, but if she didn't, I'd have that insurance. There's all sorts of hidden fees. I didn't expect, that, I thought I could just open the doors and here I go. Well, it's not always that way. You better check with your local and state laws that for the type of business you're doing, where you're at. Are you an industrial area? Some places I've learned with painting and such like that, you better be in an industrial part of it. The automotive, especially because you're replacing parts and things, you fall under the guideline of some factories and things. It's just, the way they have it, because they consider you like a body shop. You're not. You're just replacing parts and things. But I know in our state that, that has a whole lot to do where you're located at. They're not going to let you put a paint shop or a car business next to a McDonald's or a restaurant. You got to consider the parking. I'm having an issue with, and I didn't have this in the past, but we got a new tenant, and he is very seldom here, but he complains about the parking, that some of my customers park in his spot, which I try to work around it. I try to be the nice guy, But, he had talked to the landlord about me, and rather than resolve it with me, he went to the landlord, which is fine. But it's things like that you got to take into consideration when you open a business. On the other hand, excuse me, don't quit your day job, and don't just think you're going to jump right in and here we go, because I really think it's a mistake. Like I said earlier, you better have 1 to 2 years of your wages put back. And luckily for me, I had some retirement. My wife kind of helped support me in the business. She's got a full-time job, and sometimes it's hard for me to think that I'm contributing to the household part of it, because there's times that it's tough. A lot of my money goes back into the business. A lot of money, like I said, is spent on tools, supplies. I didn't realize how much supplies cost. I do a lot of lighting. I do a lot of we use a lot of butt connectors, tape, things like that, and you don't think that adds up a month, but it does. I work with another gentleman that he helps pay for part of the cost, but the money that I make off the lighting that he generates, helps me generate, I'll put that way, that money is gone. That money is the money I spend on restocking stuff. There's a lot of times that I have to buy supplies or materials for a project, and I get it ahead of time. And then if that person or persons kind of leave me hanging, I'm stuck with it. So I've learned to get the money up front, get a deposit. And that's what I'm telling you, people. Don't jump into something, and don't go out and get a big building. I started out small. I've got 1,200 square foot here. It's not big enough. I've got a window tint guy, plus me. A lot of times we kind of try to work around that. It's hard sometimes, and especially when you have no place to park the vehicles and what have you. Like I said, in the past I didn't have no trouble, but here lately, it's been one of them things that my business is starting to get a little bit bigger, and parking is a problem. On the other hand, too, don't listen to your friends, and you may even have loved ones that they're not going to support you. That's no big deal. It's it's your dream. It's what you want to do. All I can say is go ahead and stick your neck out, but just be careful. If you could do it part-time and rent you a small building and do it part-time, and then gradually get your clientele up, that's the way to do it. Word of mouth. I've got a lot of word of mouth. I didn't have that option. I was kind of thrown to the wolves. And that's the other thing. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do this. I have a lot of trouble expressing myself, I guess it is. I had a real hard time when we first started doing the what we call the morning brews, and going and talking. And the gentleman told me that I was going to have to get up there in front of people and talk. That's just not my thing. Now it's second nature. I can go up to somebody, even a stranger, in a store and talk with them. But if you put me in front of a crowd of people and want me to talk, there's just no way. That was the other problem that I had, was talking without getting nervous, my voice changing. I have a very nervous voice, and getting in front of people just I guess the better word for it is I was scared. A lot of times, you think that you see people that get up and talk, and you don't think you're going to have to do that with a business. But I have seen several people that are terrified that have just introduced themselves. But if you want to achieve stuff in business, you're going to have to put yourself out there, and you're going to have to do things you don't like to do. Speaking with others, I didn't, and I guess that's why I kind of started these YouTube videos. It helps me. I'm talking to a phone, but I'm still talking to God knows how many thousand million people. And if I can help a young person out there, he or she, start their own business and be successful, I hope it helps them. I just want to give you people, and it's not negative. It's just I'm trying to tell you what to look for. I wish somebody would have told me, hey, you have this, you got do this. Well, you got to buy this license. You got to buy this. You got to do this. Be prepared for that guy that's out there to take advantage of you. I had no idea that there was so many people out there to try to cheat you out of, the dollar you're working for. I've done a lot of jobs and things, and like I said, I get a down payment, but there's people out there that try to do their best and to snooker you into something. And being a small business guy, you want your business to succeed, and you'll get calls of people that they can help you on the internet, or they can do this website, or they can get your name out there for you. And yeah, there's some legitimate ones out there, but there's some that take advantage, and I've been down that road too. When I got into the business for the licensing and things, I went through LegalZoom. I think they helped me out. There was a lot of things there that I didn't use. There was money that was wasted there. I probably could have done it locally. You just live and learn. So, if you know somebody in business, my advice is go talk with them. That's what I did. But ask all sorts of questions, because they know, they've been through it. Don't be that person that is you're too proud, or you're too I don't know the word I'm looking for, but you really need to ask a business person, on at least have a plan. Don't just jump into it like I did. If I had to do things over again, I probably would have done it the same way. I've learned a lot. I know that there's a point in your life that I guess Steve Harvey said it the best. You just got to jump. And if you don't, you're going to wonder all your life, shoulda, woulda, coulda. And I didn't want that. I was 50-some years old, and this is something I always wanted to do. I had a lot of co-workers that I was very surprised that supported me. I didn't realize how many of them did. Excuse me. I've had a lot of them come to my shop and support me. And to me, that means more to me than anything. A lot of times, you don't get that kind of